With the recent developments going on in Dragon Ball Super thus far, people have been wondering what the future may hold for both Pan and Oob. Today, guys, I am joined by Geekless TV, my good friend MJ, as we talk about the possible future and the outcome of both Oob and Pan. Now, Mr. MJ, going into Dragon Ball Super episode 43, we get to see Pan. She's going to be there. She's going to have her own little episode per se. And before we begin, guys, and go any further, this episode and this review and this video will contain lots and lots of spoilers. So if you guys haven't seen Dragon Ball Super episode 42, simply tune out and come back. So, Mr. MJ, we had conversations go about with Goku and Vegeta about Oob prior to the Universal Tournament happening. We see Pan's coming back. I wanted to know your overall thoughts as to what the future may hold for both Pan and Oob, because Oob was referenced a few episodes ago before the tournament began, as I said. And now that Pan's coming into fruition, what are your overall thoughts on these two specific characters and what the future may hold for them going into this, series? Because for me personally, I think that we just might have a glimpse to who and what Oob is before the World Martial Arts Tournament. I mean, then again, that's judging based off of if they're going to tell the story before the the martial arts tournament or after. But I definitely think that Oob is going to make a debut at some given point during this series. As for Pan, she's going to be a baby, but for how long is the question. So like, what do you think the future holds for both Pan and Oob?
Well, the honest answer is it depends on how much money they make and how far they want to push the series. But I mean, you saw the preview, right, in episode 42 to 43. Pam looks like a badass as a kid. She's a baby.
And she's powering up.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, I mean, right there, that's like comedy gold in my opinion. I know some people may not like it, but that's gold. That's comedy right there. To have Pilaf and them, I don't know, like kidnap Pam. Like that's comedy right there.
Or at least
but
attempt to, because like towards the end when she's
to.
powering up, and I was like, oh my, that's badassery. Like already thus far as a baby, she seems more of a badass than her GT protege. Now some people may not like that. Some people might say, what are you talking about, man? And Pan and GT was awesome, because believe it or not, some people do still prefer Dragon Ball GT over Dragon Ball Super. A perfect example of that is my friend Malik, to where he said the consistencies are more accurate in GT than Super. But already we have Pan being shown. She's powering up. She's having, some fun with Pilaf and stuff. How do you think her character is going to be portrayed as the series continues? Because something that doesn't really make sense to me, and I'm sure it bothers a lot of other people, is the fact that we have Goten and Trunks still as kids, right? So,
Yeah.
do you believe that Goten and Trunks and Pan are going to remain in the same state that they're in currently? Or do you believe that towards the end, at least, of the series, we're going to have somewhat of a older Pan, possibly as a child, or maybe a teenage Goten and Trunks? Because these characters are very important to the series. So,
Yeah.
where do you see Pan's development go on here, especially after this episode coming up?
It's hard to say, but if I had to guess, Pan will age, and I believe Goten and Trunks will too. I don't believe we're gonna see the Goten and Trunks that we saw at the end of Z, that the
Really,
tournament.
why?
But I just believe that they're gonna cap it off at like around, what are they, like 11 right now or 10?
I'd say 10-ish.
10. So I think they'll cap it off when they're like 13 or 14, in my opinion. I think that's where it's gonna end, because I know Toei does not want to go to that Oop section of the show because of the whole.
That's interesting. You're saying that they're gonna end it off before everything. All right, so
Yeah.
so what does that mean for Oob then?
There's gonna leave it as that we just gotta see Oob at the end of Z. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna see him in Super.
So you're saying that the Dragon Ball Z ending with Goku and Oob is still gonna stand as?
I think so.
Man.
I've talked to a lot of people about like if they would retcon it, would they rewrite it?
Do you think so?
I mean, obviously, one big difference already is that Vegeta seemed legitimately shocked in the end of Z when Goku told him there was an Earthling. But why would he be shocked if he already knows that Boo's been reincarnated? It's like,
and the fact that you fought gods, you fought beings from different universes. Presumably, if you're doing this Omniverse tournament before or after, you fought Hit. I mean, come on, it's just it shouldn't come as a surprise. But then again, he did say Earthling, so I'm pretty sure that the surprise came to Vegeta as, wow, there's an Earthling that's almost as strong as what you're saying is Kid Buu or whatever.
But not only to that, but it's like when you look at Vegeta, he was like he went from like had his arms crossed, leaning against the building to like, my God, he's getting stronger and stronger as he fights. It's like Goku and Vegeta are already stronger. I believe. I know people might disagree with me, but I already believe they're stronger than Buhan in their basis.
Oh, I think so. I mean, I don't think that
So
there's any reason to hide that.
so it's like, how would Oob be able to even like? Why would Vegeta be surprised about that? Vegeta would just be like, huh, he's getting stronger, huh? It's like, why would he be surprised that, oh, he's progressing? I don't see Oob being stronger than even Kid Buu at that point in time without any sort of Goku training or training from anybody, you know?
No,
He just,
absolutely not.
so
No.
there's a lot of problems that Super caused with that ending, but I don't think they're gonna touch it, bro. I mean, they might be afraid to, like, to get into that whole area. I mean,
But I don't really think there's a reason for them to be afraid of that, because if you look at what may come out of this, especially with Oob, right? Because if Goku is really going to take Oob under his wing and train him, I mean, what a mentor, right? Like, having Goku,
Yeah.
who's competed in this tournament, who's a god, who has all these abilities, like, that would make for a very, very strong student. So, I personally believe that Oob will be shown, depending on whether or not we see him working in his village. Because remember, like, at the World Martial Arts Tournament, when, you know, Oob was talking to himself and he was like, I have to, you know, avenge my mom, and all my
Yeah.
villagers, because he's poor, he has to work hard and stuff. So maybe we'll get to see a shot of, you know, just them flying by and Goku happening to notice a kid who's working extra hard, you know, just having to,
Yeah.
you know, cater to his village. And then, you know, right before he loses track of what he's doing, he goes back to what he's doing. But I think that there's going to be a lot of foreshadowing behind Oob, because Oob is an important character, whether or not people want to say he is or not, he is. Because he made up
Yeah.
for GT, he made up to what was the ending of Dragon Ball Z. Like, what do you think about Pan? Do you think that we're going to see, like, sort of like the same Pan that we saw in GT / End of Z, or do you think it's going to be more of a different kind of character coming out of Pan?
I think judging by just by her as a baby and her powering up against Pilaf, I can assume she's gonna be a little badass. So we're probably gonna see the Pan that was in towards the end of Z training with Goku, you know, before Goku left with Oob,
Yeah.
like, you know, flying around the world and doing stuff like that. So like, we're probably gonna see more of that Pan, and if Goku's gonna stick around, we just don't know like how far they're gonna go. Like, for all we know, Goku and Vegeta may take off to Whis every now and then. Like, we don't know how long he's gonna be. You know, that might actually be kind of cool with Oob. Like, you know, when he takes off with Oob, instead of going to Kami's lookout or the lookout, he goes to Whis' planet, and we see like shots of like Oob and Goku wearing the aprons, like, you know, doing the
Oh, that'd
training
be
with
pretty cool.
Beerus.
And like, Whis is governing them, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny in it. But, you know, it would just be kind of cool if they did that. But, like, we just don't know. I mean, Pan, though, I'm sure she'll probably stay the same. Like, she was pretty cool in the end of Z, you know, with the whole grandpa
Yeah.
bullshit, you know. So it's GT that's the problem. A lot of people don't like the GT adaptation of Pan.
So
So
GT's the real problem here. Why is that?
it's
Because GT did mess up a lot of things, but I feel as if they can easily kind of correct that, because the mistakes that were made towards the end of Z / GT can always be corrected now, because to really believe that all of this is happening during that 10-year time gap is pretty nuts, because a lot
yeah.
of us as fans wanted to see what's going to happen after, and we kind of got that with GT, but just removing GT from the equation here, there's a lot of possibilities that you can build off of, that you can just build great stories off of. Like, for example, like just trying to have, as you said, Oob train with Goku on Whis' planet while Whis governs them, and just having, you know, Goku, like, just kind of like guide Oob the right way, because for them to go on Kami's lookout, yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's really nostalgic, but why would you want to go there and, you know, risk destroying the lookout when you can go to, you know, Whis' home planet and not only get guidance from him, but train with, like, under, you know, difficult, like, like circumstances, like, for example, like environmental changes, or perhaps, or maybe, you know, Whis puts them in the staff again, guys,
Yeah.
just all theory, but you firmly believe that Oob will make a debut during this series at some given point.
Now that you brought it up, I kind of had like an idea that he probably wouldn't, but now that we're talking about this, I could see it happening, but only as like maybe a foreshadow, or it's gonna be very minor, like super minor. I don't like, uh, you
Okay,
know,
so you had a theory as to why not. All right, so why do you believe that he wouldn't appear, like, during the series?
only because, and I, you know, I already said this like 1,000 times in this video, is that they're afraid to put him in, like, because they're just afraid that people will get mad that they're retconning sort of the whole thing with Z, you know, because
Yeah.
it was like Goku never met Oob before then, so we never saw Oob before then, so, but they could do it. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Like, there's so much they can do. Like, you're right, bro. If they wanted to, like, if they had it planned out for like another 200 episodes for this to continue. They could do so much. It's like, it's not even funny how much they could do, you know.
Oh,
even
they have
if,
a lot of material.
Even if this whole tournament happens, this whole omniverse, well, it will happen. But once it happens, who's to say that's the end? Like, we don't know if. I know your friend Paul brought up a while back in one of your gaming videos. Yes, I watch your gaming videos. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
That what if there's like a rogue warrior that starts skipping through the universes, you know, and you were like,
Oh,
well, why
you
would
know,
it
you know
happen?
what that means, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
gonna talk about Mira and Toa.
Yeah.
Mira and Toa.
For this case, just say it's Broly. But anyway, so Broly's skipping through the
Oh, God.
universes. He comes to
Imagine that.
Earth.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if they retconned his ass and they made him canon? With the same dialogue, not with the newer dialogue where he actually speaks, but like with the old dialogue of him just traveling through universes. Kakarot.
Just skipping through universes, right? No big deal.
Like, yo,
But
get
yeah,
out of here, man.
but I mean, they can do so much material. You know, even if the Omniverse tournament ends, there's so much they can do afterwards still, with any of them visiting other universes, villains coming from other universes, and it's just there's so much they can do, and they can continue all of this, and Oob can be a part of that equation. You know what I mean? It's like Oob can become the third. I'm not sure if people are familiar with One Piece, but Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro, they're called the Monster Trio because they're the top three. So you bring Oob in with Vegeta and Goku, call them the Monster Trio. You know what I mean? Like,
So where does that leave Goten, Trunks, and Gohan? Because everybody's gonna be like, well, what about your sons?
They ain't coming back, bro. You should know better than that.
like what about your sons? Like, you're just gonna leave your boys behind?
Okay, yeah,
Like, if you
that's not
think about it, Goku would choose a stranger over his own boys. He trained Oob. Like, why couldn't he train Goten like that? Like, you know, like, why couldn't he train Gohan? He trained a stranger. That's sick, man.
I remember in that, I can't remember if it was in the manga or not, but I remember like in the actual episode, there's like a part where it shows Goku and Goten training before Vegeta and Bulma come at the end of Z.
Yeah.
And like Goku's like kicking his ass, right? And then we see skip to the tournament, Piccolo has his arms crossed and he's just like, look at Goku, he's having the time of his life. Goku had more fun fighting / training Oob than he was his own son.
Yeah, he was kicking Goten's ass. Because remember, I think it was Vegeta that pointed out that Goten and Trunks are more into girls now and parties and whatever. So that's kind of funny because I love the character development for those characters. Like, we get to see Goten and Trunks being these little kids, and now they're, you know, young adults and they're going out and they're having fun. They're not like their fathers. And so we get to see the character development happen with Oob too, from Dragon Ball Z into Dragon Ball GT, which is why I hope that Oob has more of a character development in this show. Because as you said, they have the possible content to keep on going with, you know, hundreds of episodes if they wanted to. But by the way things are seeming, to me at least, I think that the Omniverse tournament is going to be like the be all end all. But so you don't see them exceeding the Dragon Ball Z finale at all with Goku and Oob?
It's a possibility, but if you're asking me like yes, no, I'll just straight up say no. I don't think they would, but it's a possibility. Like we just said, there's so much they can do, and if they wanted to, they can do it. You know, like I mean, obviously, we're gonna keep giving them our money, you know,
Of course.
and then they're gonna keep providing us. You know, I'll buy a fucking hit action figure. You know, I'll buy a new Oob action figure. You know, I'll put that shit in my room. It's just like, of course, if they keep providing the material, I'm gonna keep buying what they're selling. So it's like they can continue, and it'll be okay, and no one's gonna complain if they continue. You
No,
know,
absolutely
so
not. I mean, some people would, because they're gonna say, "Oh, well, they're just milking the franchise for more," which I would kind of disagree with, because in a way, like as you said, you're giving the fans what they want. But again, like Oob may look and seem like a side character, but he played a very important role. You know, towards the end, going into like the new series, which was Dragon Ball GT. But leave your thoughts down below, guys, as to your overall thoughts and opinions on Oob and Pan. Where do you see these specific characters go in the future, and do you guys think that the continuity is going to be erased from Dragon Ball Z when they completely, you know, just, you know, went off the idea of having Goku see Oob as like this great competitor, and they might do something different in this adaptation? Because for me, I think that they ought to do it to where they change the ending of Z. And because remember, like, everyone towards the end of Z was talking about, oh, well, this is going to be the strongest opponent since Kid Buu. But now, I mean, Goku and Vegeta have fought so many other people that are way stronger than, you know, Kid Buu ever was. What does that mean for Oob as a character, you know? So,
yeah.
But Mr. MJ, any final thoughts before we go?
Oh, the main problem with that, like rewriting it, like I said, I'm cool with it, but the main problem is you're gonna have people say, well, if Toriyama and Toritaro like changed the ending of Z, then what makes that manga canon anymore? You know, if we can just retcon anything, you know, but it's a tough situation. You know, we didn't even bring up Bola, anyways.
Oh, Bra too, yeah. Bra's gonna be another one that. Do you believe she's gonna be relevant in this or no?
I don't know, man.
'Cause with the
Bulma
way
should be
things are
pregnant already.
Yeah, she should, but she's not. So, what do you think is going on there?
Vegeta needs to stop training. He needs to hit it already. But
He needs to start, you know, smashing some aces and holes, bro. Because all he's really doing, if you think about it, he's too concerned with Goku over banging his own bitch. So it's just like, come on, Vegeta. I mean, but then again, it's like Bulma, she gets around, and I'm pretty sure at some point, you know, she might announce that she's pregnant. But are we gonna see Bra? Probably not. I think that they're gonna make the announcement at some point that she is pregnant by Vegeta. But in terms of Bra as a character, I don't think that she's gonna debut. But then again, as you said, anything is possible, and it all depends on what they do with these characters. Because if they don't start building, you know, character development into some of these, you know, characters, then what's the point of having them, you know?
yeah.
Leave your thoughts down below, guys, as to your overall thoughts on Pan and Oob. Where do you guys see Oob going in this series? And if you guys believe he's going to debut, at what point and how? Comment down below and let us know, guys. Once again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys are fans, don't forget to subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. Check out Mr. Geekless TV down in the description. Thank you guys for watching once again. Tune in for the next update, and we'll be seeing you all later. Take it easy, guys. Peace.